Hi, this is Coralla Ficklin at CorallaFicklin.com. So this is the fourth and I think the last video on the head, at least for now. And like I said, you can go into video 1 and there you can see all the different our network. I talk about our network, WelcomeNetwork.com, WYLCOME, WelcomeNetwork.com, and all the different websites we have available and what we do as a company. But right now I want to finish up with the head. And like I said, you can come into the website, either iStudyGuys.com, iStudyCards.com or iStudyCards.com, and download this part of the book, and it's called A Treasure Trove of Information or of Language or whatever, and it's the body part D. Okay, so right now I want to do two things. I'm going to see if I can do two things within the time that I have. Give you some expressions with the head, and I might not necessarily give you the most detailed explanation, and then give you some sayings with the head. So, to put out of one's head, if I say put that out of your head, because you can't do it, it's not possible. In other words, forget it. It's not possible. So put it out of your head. Okay, to put one's shoulders back and hold one's head up high. So you put your shoulders back, you hold your head up high, and you walk out. So if I said put your shoulders back and hold your head up high and walk out of that room, in other words, you walk out with pride, which is just the opposite of walking with your head down. Because if you walk with your head down, like I remember I was told never to leave a room or any situation with your head down, because that was either the sign of shame or defeat. So you always walk with your head up, even though you are dying at the moment. Okay, so you walk with your head high, never walk with your head down. Because all these things, all these expressions of the body, literally the body is expressing things, what you do. Walking with your head down is shame or conquest. Walking with your head up is pride. To put your head to put someone's head in the noose, or you put your own head in the noose, but if you put John's head in the noose, that means you mix someone up or you trap someone to do something that will eventually lead to their destruction. So someone says, you put John's head in the noose. Okay? To put one's head on the block, or to put your head on the block, means that you are going to do something, or you are doing something that probably will lead to your destruction. I remember when I was in graduate school, I always put my head on the block, and I normally got it chopped off. Pew! That's what they do in graduate school. They chop off your head. Especially if you're working on your doctorate, you get your head chopped off many, many times. And there's another expression that's not here. It says to run around like a chicken without his head. That means you're running around and you don't know what you're doing. You're going here, you're going there. Because if you ever have been in the sad situation in which you have to kill a chicken in order to eat it, I've seen that. It's horrible. I'm a vegetarian. I didn't eat the chicken, but I've seen it. And they take the hatchet and they chop off the head of the chicken, okay, or the bird or the fowl, and it seems like the animal doesn't know that it's dead yet, so it's running around, and while it's running around, all the blood is coming, and so they say to run. She's running around like a chicken without its head. Okay. Another way of saying to put your head on the block is to put someone's head on the chopping block, and the chopping means that's the place where you're going to chop off the head. Okay, I want to make sure that I have enough time to give you some expressions. All right, and once again, when I'm looking over here, I'm looking at the web page that you can look at. To raise one's head skyward. When you raise your head skyward, you raise your head and you're looking up, and that's a sign of hope. Okay, let me just give you. Okay, to rear its ugly head. When you say, don't look for problems, problems will find you. It will rear its ugly, ugly head. That means it will appear, or it will make itself known. You know what? To toss one's head means to show disapproval or opposition, to turn heads. If you are the kind of woman that walks into a room, you walk into a room and you turn heads, that means that you are so beautiful, or in the case of a male, you're so handsome that you call attention to yourself. So people stop what they're doing to look at you. So she's the kind of woman who can turn heads. Okay, and to turn someone's head, if I said, don't listen to him, he's only trying to turn your head. That means he's trying to flatter you, to compliment you, to praise you, but to get something from you. He's only doing that in order to get something from you. Okay, if I say you can use your head to get out of this problem, that means think. Figure out a solution. Don't wait for someone else to give you a solution. Okay? And if someone says, to want someone's head, I want her head. That means I want that person either killed or captured or some way stopped. So if someone says, I want his head, that means I want that person stopped. Usually, depending on the situation, it means to be killed. To want someone's head on a silver platter means the same thing. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go all the way down, because like I said, this particular section of the book is about 500 something pages. To not look ahead, I'm just going to give you some. To plunge ahead, to press ahead, to roar ahead, to rush ahead, to see ahead, to stay ahead, to swoosh ahead, to walk ahead. Okay, now to zoom ahead. Alright, so now what I'm going to do with the remaining minutes that I have, I'm going to give you expressions with head. And this is from Shakespeare, The Merchant of Venice, 1597. I never knew so young a body with so old a head. And we even have an expression like that in English. What is it? An old head on a young body. Old head and young hands. And when you say someone has an old head, that means that person is very wise. That's an Egyptian proverb, by the way. There is no putting an old head on young shoulders. That means when you're young, you're not very wise. That's from unknown. It's just an expression. No one knows from where it originated. The head follows the body. It's from Babylonian Talmud, 450 BC. Touch a hair of that white head and I'll wring your neck off. That's just an expression from a play or a movie, but there's no author to that. Okay, this is from Shakespeare, Winter's Tale, 1610. Inch thick, knee deep, or head and ears a forked one. I have no idea what that means. I just took the expression out of, but of course if you have the context you can get it. Over head and ears in love with some lady. Swift, polite conversation, 1736. Okay, and in English, American, you don't say over head and ears, you say head over heels, in love with someone. Okay, so that's the head. Come into iStudyGuides.com, iStudyCards.com, or just come into WelcomeNetwork.com and look for the book, Treasure Trove of Information, Body Expressions, and you can download the books in sections or as you please. CorralaFicklin, CorralaFicklin.com.